What part of the world are you showing behind you here?
This is a quest we're calling Moon on the Stick. It's a really fun quest. It's actually quest about 11 in an overall campaign story arc. Now what we're doing here is just a simplified demo, so it's about 15 minutes long. The normal quest lasted about 30 minutes, and so that's around the right length, we think, to get into a game, play it, have a beginning, middle, and end of an individual story, and then you can return back to our hometown called Bright Lodge, and then either faff about and do more mini games and the like, or you can choose to go on another quest, a lot like Fable 1. You'll have a kind of a quest map that you choose different quests between, and then choose whether you're playing single player or multiplayer.
For people that have played the original Halos, what kind of Easter eggs will you have when it comes to characters from those games, playable or available or in this game?
So if you know your Fable lore well, you'll know that there are some people who, from Fable history, should be alive now, because they're more or less immortal. They are, now we're set several hundred years before the first Fable, so you'd have to be immortal to be alive now. That means that Teresa, it hasn't been born yet, and the hero of Oakvale haven't been born yet, people from the previous Fable trilogy. But there are some very powerful people that you can meet someday in our new Fable game.
When it comes to this game, one of the things that makes it unique is the fifth player that's playing the enemy. Can you talk a little about that aspect and where did that idea come from?
Yep. Our villain player is meant to be as unique as we can make it. When we thought about what we wanted to do in the next Fable game, really that idea started with the concept of how do we make this whole hero-villain thing pay off better? Because when we looked at it, we've always had the option to be evil, but it was just kind of naughty, right? I mean, you were a guy who slept around a lot or a girl who slept around a lot, but you couldn't, and maybe that shouldn't be naughty, but societal mores, blah, 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 whatever, we'll question that later. And yeah, you could kill a few people, but you've had to go through the same story arc, basically, that a goody two-shoes hero went through. So we didn't want to do that. We wanted to do something where being a villain, being evil meant something incredibly different. And the only place we thought, after spitballing a bunch of different ideas around it, we were like, well, you should be the villain of the story, right? You should be the one controlling the creatures that the heroes have to fight against. And then it kind of spiraled out from there, right? That, the kind of logical decision-making kind of how to shape the rest of the game around that notion of, okay, we've got someone who is the villain, who is controlling the creatures directly. Okay, great, this sounds like a fun game, let's test it. We built prototypes in Unreal 3 last year, and then eventually when those proved to be pretty damn fun and everyone at Microsoft liked them, they said, great, go build that game, and this is what we've been building in Unreal 4 ever since.
What has Next Gen opened up for you guys creatively?
A couple things, right? Obviously the most obvious thing, looking at the pretty pictures, right? So more horsepower means that we get to build an Albion that's bigger and prettier than we've ever built before. It also means we got to do a lot of cool stuff in the cloud. So when I'm faffing about in my Bright Lodge, if we're Xbox friends and I'm playing minigames, I'll see you in my Bright Lodge, right? Kind of driving around, not exactly like a Forza, which is behind us, Drivatar, but a little bit in that same notion where you and I can share a cooperative space. Even if we don't go on a quest together that day, I can kind of see your character, you can see mine, I can kind of see the cool treasure and stuff that you've unlocked. That has a lot of promise, and that's all driven through the cloud where we're monitoring your performance versus mine and the like.